So good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's very, very exciting session. We are gathered here to really talk about business, how we can grow our business, and really share what we have as far as personal growth and development is concerned. And today we have a very exciting speaker who is going to talk to us. But before I get to him, I just want to recognize everybody on the call. Today it's a truly international session. We have guests from Uganda, we have guests from abroad, from Jamaica, from the US, we have some from Germany. And I just want to recognize Clement, Team Online Uganda. We partner with him and we do a lot of stuff with him. Josphat, I'm sure you probably know them. And also Rose, I just want to recognize you guys and the good work that you're doing. And of course, my team, Conquerors team, it's great to have you on the call. And we'll be having a very, very exciting session today. Basically just sharing how can we improve ourselves? How can we be better? How can we achieve more as far as our business is concerned? And to take us through that is a gentleman that I truly respect. He's a man that came into Neo Life very recently, as compared to me, who has been there for many years. And he did what I took 10 years to do. He did it in 3 years. And we were wondering, hey, how is this guy going? This guy was moving like fire. And he's building a big business. He already has a huge business that goes into several countries. And today he's coming to share with us how he did it and what is the secret of actually building our business, this kind of business in network marketing and in your life. And I know many of you don't know him, especially quite a number of my team members. So I know he'll also introduce himself and just share briefly his story so that you can get to know him. Then he will get into the nitty-gritty of the day. But without further ado, welcome, Dr. Josphat.
Thank you so much, Fred. I'm just so excited to be part of this meeting. Fred is one of the people who made me to become a PT in a few years of being in the business, less than 3 years, because the lifestyle I found him living, I thought this is the life that I needed to be living. So thank you so much, Fred, and the team. Truly, Conquerors, you are in the best team, and I really appreciate being part of you tonight. Now, just for the sake of the people that we are meeting for the very first time, and Friend, you can confirm that I'm loud enough.
Yes, you are perfect.
Thank you. So for the sake of the people that we are meeting for the very first time, and perhaps you've not heard about me, I'm Kariuki Josphat. I feel like I'm brand new in the business, feeling very challenged to take the business to the next level. But then I'll also share a couple of things that helped me to be where I am. Whenever I'm invited for such a meeting like this, I will want to, with the help of God, to share things that a year from today, we'll meet with someone in the call and they tell me, you know what, that changed my life. I'll also base my talk tonight on my personal experience. I might not tell you what someone else says, but with your permission, I'll tell you what I have done. And then you can try it out. I'm sure it will work. Well, to be very precise, I'll be talking about sponsoring. I started like any other person. I didn't go to any university to learn how to sponsor. My background is that I started as a full-time lecturer in the university. When I came over here, I was teaching as a full-time lecturer in the university. My wife, Pia Rose, was a high school teacher. We were having the pay slips, but for sure, we were not living our dream life. So what made us to join this business was threefold. I remember there were three pushing factors that made me to join this business. The very first one was to make money. Following that closely was number two, to make money. And finally, I joined this business to make money. When it is clear in your mind why you've joined this business, then it becomes easy because your why will keep pushing you. I wasn't driving, and I was ashamed of that as a full-time lecturer in the university, not driving, jumping into the public means of transport. I was paying rent, not living in my home. That was embarrassing. And the way I had promised my wife big things like the best home, so that she accepted me to marry her. And then I was not able to achieve that. I was so ashamed that my children were going to the very normal schools. So when this opportunity came, I didn't think twice. I jumped in at once. That is what we call taking risks. But the fact that all my dreams were related to money, I had to do the things that would help me to make money very fast. I don't know whether in this call we have somebody who wants to make money very fast and good money. It would be interesting to see whether we have such people here, if the chats are enabled, so that even as I share the place where sponsoring comes in, you'll appreciate. I remember I started with a very small bonus of 2,002 Kenya shillings for our friends in Uganda. That's about 20 US dollars. In as much as that was small, it inspired me that if I do more, I would achieve more. As a matter of fact, within my first 1 year of building this business, I was making more money in this business more than what my good boss, the employer, was paying me. Now you can start seeing the kind of speed that I engaged. In 2 years, I had doubled that. To retract a bit, in 1 year, 2 months, I was driving myself. I told you I came in for such reasons, like buying myself a car, not through loans, but cash. I was driving myself. In 2 years' time, I was living in my own home here in Nairobi. In less than 3 years, I hit president team member, and the bonus was crazy. Now it's not just about money, it's about what the money does for you. Today, I'm not driving a car. Some of you know I'm driving that latest shape of Land Cruiser, that machine where you climb while you are still studying. You don't have to, squat or something like that for you to get into the machine. I'm now living in my second home here in Nairobi. My children are in international schools as we speak. I'm now financially stable, financially free, and I have time freedom because after building this business for 5 years, I fired my boss. I didn't fire him when I was here in Kenya. I fired him when I was 38,000 feet above the sea level, flying from Oliver Tambo International Airport, en route back to Nairobi. And while I was up there, when you are up there, you think different. While I was up there, I drafted my resignation letter. And that was the end of my university teaching. So today, I do what I want to do with the people I want to work with. So how did that come about? That is the simple reason why Fred gave me this topic. Sponsoring. Yes, you use the products. Yes, you share the products. But if you are not good in sponsoring, you limit yourself. You will not go very far. You can become a director, but it might be difficult to go past that. So take this very serious if you want to hit those world team levels and above. As I talk about sponsoring, please note that we are not talking of recruiting. Recruiting is easy. You can have people come in even by force. But that is recruiting. Sponsoring simply means you bring people with the heart of nurturing them. You bring people ready to work hard to make sure that they succeed. And your joy should not be how many people am I bringing into the business. Your joy should be how many people am I developing after bringing them to the business. And then it has to be a continuous process. It's not that you sponsor so well at one point and then you stop. Many people ask me, when will I stop bringing people? And my answer is when you are ready to stop growing. So it's a continuous process. I love using the analogy where you have a bucket of water, it has some outlet, and it has some inlet. Now, if you close inlet, so no water is getting into the bucket, but the outlet is still there, then that bucket is soon going to be empty. So sponsoring is the inlet. Now, the people you bring in, have you ever brought someone and they quit the business? I have many who quit. And there was no other option. They just had to quit because that is exactly what they came to do. They came to join, they see whether it works, then they quit. So if you don't keep on sponsoring, then you will not keep on growing. Now, how do you sponsor? How do you sponsor? Sponsoring can be so easy, but my first point is before you go out there to bring in people, first be totally sold into the business yourself. You know, there are some people who are in the business, but they are busy looking for opportunities out there. They are not settled. They are not so convinced that I got it. I got gold. I have arrived. When I got this business, I arrived. If you are not totally sold into the business, chances are you will not have the courage and confidence to bring in people. So that's the starting point. Be totally sold into the business. Be so much convinced that this is where your fortune is. Even when some people come talking of big things, things that can only be found in heaven, that they've come across another company somewhere. You know, they say that the grass is always greener on the other end of the fence. If you're not totally sold, then your mind will still be looking for another opportunity out there. So you will not really be able to convince people out there to join you. So, and number two, don't be desperate when you are going out to talk to people. Don't show desperation, like if they don't join, you are finished. Well, you know, if no one joins totally, which is not possible and it's not practical, then your business won't grow. But you don't want to show them that. You know, young people or new people in the business, they will even tell their prospects, please join because I'm supposed to sponsor 3 people to win an incentive. And I have gotten 2. You are the only one I am waiting to join so that I can get the incentive. Now, such a person will know that you are just after I, me, and myself, and not them. Did you know people will join because they've seen that somehow you are going to solve their issues, whether health, financial, wealth, or lifestyle? So you should never show desperation. Some people will even talk of, I'm just a senior manager, just a senior manager. you see the people you are talking to out there, they don't know whether you are the CEO of the company or whatever. So avoid showing some desperation like you're just a beginner, you don't know much. No. I remember when I was starting the business, because I was actually afraid of even talking to people. Instead of going to face people, I printed something and I put on shops in my shopping center where I was living, so that in the morning, and I did that in the night, so that in the morning people would see the flyers and the posters and they call me. Anyhow, the first person who called me, they asked me, hey, do you have Amiton? And you should have had the confidence that I talked with. I didn't know whether Amiton is a solid or liquid, but the confidence I responded with, they asked me to buy for them one immediately. So don't try to belittle yourself just because you are new in the business. Work with confidence, work with confidence. And then have excitement and enthusiasm. We are talking of the things that we have to have before we even go to talk to people. Because some people don't say no because the opportunity is bad, but they say no because you said no on their behalf first, by the way you appeared. So excitement and enthusiasm. Enthusiasm goes with energy. You know, do you look like you are energetic, like you are going somewhere? You know, when I was building the business, I'm still building, but I'm talking of when I was growing from the lower levels, especially across all team levels. I remember I was even moving at a higher speed than normal. That energy. And people just had to join me because they saw like I'm going somewhere. People don't want to follow people who look like they're going for a burial, but people who are going somewhere better. Now, when you go talking to people so that you can sponsor them, the starting point is establishing their needs. What do they need? One will join because they want to be buying products for their health. Anyway, they have still joined, you've sponsored them, even if the motivation was to buy products. There are some who will just want to be customers, but I'm talking of there are some who will join just to be buying the products. Later, they will come to learn about the business and they will build it as business, as long as they are in the system. So identify that need. If someone is too sick and you're telling them of Monday, then you're wasting their time. They will not even listen to you. For me, if you told me about products, I would not even have listened to you. So I established the need for the people you are targeting, the prospects that you are targeting. And we know that the need will either be health, wealth, or lifestyle. For in our country, we have people from the lake region, and I can tell you what motivates them more than money and health is lifestyle. So if I'm talking to such a person, then I will be quick to establish whether that is actually their need, and I'll show them how they can travel around the world. I would always, and I would even those days when I was starting the business, I would walk around with the lifestyle magazine. So if someone is interested in lifestyle, that is what I would show them. In other words, we are supposed to be like fishermen, not like hunters. Are you a hunter or a fisherman or fisherwoman? You see, hunters, if you are chasing after a rabbit, will it come to you or it will run away? So distributors who act like hunters, that is exactly what they do. They chase the prospects away because they are not attracting them by focusing on their needs. But if you're a fisherman, what you do is, you know, the fish will be attracted by what I'm offering. the bait. And a fish will come closer to the bait because it wants that bait. So let's be fishermen. And what that also means is we have to be attractive. You see, we have to attract the people we want to bring into the business. So a question you want to ask yourself is, how attractive am I? I love giving the story of how I behaved when I just started. Before, it has always been the way he's often with suits and all that. But far from it, 2 sweaters, one for my wife, one for myself. And I would put on mine today, tomorrow I'll put hers, and then she's putting mine the second, like that. And people would imagine that we have different sweaters, but we were just trying to share. I mean, and it's the same. Then I had this big shoe. When you are visionary, you also want to look at many years to come. I didn't want to keep on buying shoes before I joined this business. Of course, money was a serious problem. So I had that big shoe, and it was hard enough so that even if I grew further, there was no possibility of going to buy another shoe. This one was to serve. And I was going, of course, with it to the training center, meeting prospects, and they would look at me and they imagine that I'm a suspect. So I wasn't attracted. I was repelling them. Have you not seen some people talking of the way this business has money? And then the prospects are taking their handbags to their back so that the handbag is not grabbed because the fellow looks like a thug. So attract the people you are talking to by the person you look. I mean, the way you look. In other words, people will look at your outlook before you open your mouth. Very important. Now, the next thing you do is, yes, you've established the need of this person. And how do you do that, by the way? Let me just retract for a second. How do you establish the need of this person? By asking questions, and you ask very obvious questions. We use the word form. If we meet with you, Patricia Amoyo, I'll ask you, how are you? How is your family? That way we start now connecting by talking of family things, not business at once. Be surprised that no one will join you if you go straight to the business. So we start talking about the family, and you tell me, we are doing well. Other than the fact that I was, found to have, I was diagnosed with arthritis, but I'm still pushing on. You see, now you've already shared something very critical for me. Or we are doing well, though my son is not able to go to the university, the current economic situation, so you've already floated a need to me. Then from that, we'll go to occupation, your workplace, and all that. Then we'll go to recreation, hobbies, what I love doing, what you love doing, such like things. And then we go to money-related issues, what you do for side hustle, And for that, I find it so easy to venture, to open up, to help my prospect to open up by just starting it myself. I'll talk of, the economy. I'll talk of, our government. Then we, of course, expected that things like will go down to be cheaper. Now it's like it's survival for the fittest. And then now he will pick it up from there because I've started. He will tell me, actually, I feel like I will be taking 2 meals a day instead of 3. Now, money issues start coming in. So that form is quite important when you are trying to break the ice to connect with this person so that you can establish the need. Now, as you engage, you'll also use another aspect that we call triple F. That is a feel, felt, found. Feel, felt, found. When someone tells you, well, I'm still working, but I'm so tired of my job. I feel like not going back there on Monday. Now, the feel, felt, found comes in like this. They have told you what they feel. So you tell them that you felt the same. I also felt the same. I know what you are saying. A few years ago, I felt exactly that. And then now you tell them what you found. So the process is like this. They've shared with you what they feel. You don't rubbish that, but rather you show them that it's normal. You also have been there. So you are vulnerable. And then now don't leave them at that. You give them the solution that you found. That's very powerful, man. You can never go wrong with that. Just a few minutes ago, I've not even finished responding to the prospect. He tells me, oh, if it is about MLM, don't tell me about it. Now, I didn't tell him, go away. Good. I mean, can you even think of a doctor dealing with the MLM? I'm a professional. I don't do the things that people do out there. No. I asked him, it's like you have some experience. What happened? And he tells me, I have been in such things and I paid money, nothing came back. And I told him, I know what you are saying. Most of my mentees, before we started off, shared such a thing. And usually people have lost money in pyramids or they lacked mentorship, something like that. And now what is the question that he asked me? How do you do it yourself? You see, now I've brought him closer. So that kind of connecting with the people you are prospecting will increase the chances of you sponsoring them, right? So now he has opened up to hear how I do it. But there was high probability of I losing him if I just told him, yes, it is MLM, and I'm making a lot of money. You'll die poor. Honestly, I would be lacking emotional intelligence on that, and I lose them. Now, another formula that works very well, scare the prospect, then give a solution. How do you scare? You would, like myself, I would tell them, I used to work, yes, I was too busy. But it was so bad that after being paid my salary, it would get finished by the 5th or 6th. And the man is still there looking at me with ugly eyes. And I don't know how to survive for the rest of the month. And I knew if I don't change, I'll die poor. Now, I have scared the fellow because most likely that is exactly where he is or worse. And I've scared him that he might die poor. I have not told him he will die poor, but from my story, that is what the message I have conveyed. And then I offer a solution. But I praise God that 13 years ago, an angel sent by God shared with me an opportunity that changed my life for good. Don't you think that person will be very ready to listen to the opportunity that changed my life for good? That's how you do it. You scare, then you offer a solution. Simple game, and you are good to go. All right. Finally, on that, you need to eliminate their fears. Many people will fail to join because of some fears. They fear, what if I join and I don't succeed? What if I don't get anyone joining my business? So how do you eliminate those fears? How do you eliminate objections like, is it a pyramid? Is it a scam? How do you eliminate those objections? By first promising them support. When you tell them you are not going to do it alone, it's your own business, but you'll do it together, they feel encouraged that there is support here. To be very honest, every person that I have sponsored, I have promised them to work with them. Someone will tell me I'm not good in speaking, and I'll tell them that's not an issue. Actually, you are the best for this business because we are going to work with you and help you to talk to your prospects. You're not even the one to really go talking a lot. We are there to help you as you master the game. So you give them confidence. You crush that fear. And it's usually fear of the unknown, but it's very human. For the objections, you just first be on their side. Never ever create some friction with them. What I mean is, if someone tells you that is a pyramid and I don't want to hear that story, tell them, I also thought the same. I know exactly what you are saying. I thought it was a pyramid until I discovered they have high quality products and the company has been there for 65 years. And I knew for sure I needed to investigate further. Someone would say, I am too busy, I can't have time for that. Don't tell them you are a poor time manager. No. Tell them, I know what you are saying. I was too busy, I didn't have time for myself, but I discovered if I don't do something, I'll remain that busy. And then I did some analysis. I discovered there was some time, there was some significant amount of time that I wasn't utilizing after work. Now you are starting to bring them close. But always first, be on their side. Don't attack them. Be on their side. Let them feel the environment is so nice. And then now you can give the way forward, the solution that you found. Now, I know you want to hear about what do I tell them? It's okay now. I have this prospect. He's ready to listen to me. What do I tell them? I am a proponent of this school of thought that people don't join because the presentation was just, so nice. It was done in that karaoke skills, well, that's okay. But people will join more because of the stories they hear from us, even more than the presentation itself. I tell my team, it's better to have not a very strong presentation, and it can even be a short one, a brief one, and you have a powerful story or powerful stories than the other way around. People join because of stories. Actually, what people remember are the stories. So whether you are a new beginner, whether you are a beginner or you've been in the business for as long as Kariuki and Fred have been, your story is what will win people. Now, I remember just before I go into that, I remember when I joined, I found people preparing to go to Cape Town. And that was the song in the training center. People are preparing to go to Cape Town. It was about 7-8 months to the time for flying to Cape Town. That was 2011. That's when they were flying. And now I'm talking of 2010 when I had just joined. Do you know, I ran with that story to my workplace and all over that, guys, don't put any meeting around this time because I will not be around. I'll be in Cape Town. And I was so convinced that I was going. I had not even known who is going and whether they are going on foot or bus or plane. But I already had taken that testimony, that story, even if I didn't really know exactly how we are going and who is going. And people join in big numbers so that they can also go with me to Cape Town. I'm talking to those who feel they are too new. They don't have many stories to tell. And I told you I was working with the lifestyle magazine. I was reading it. I wish I had it here. I was reading that lifestyle magazine. Sometimes I would place it like this in Matatu those years. I would place it like this in the Matatus and pretend I'm reading, but I want my neighbor to read. And I have opened the page that is, showing a very successful gentleman driving the Range Rover and all that. Those are the things that make people to join. So the question is, how do you tell a nice story? Just give your ID first. Who are you? You want this person to know you and feel comfortable with you. Who are you? I'm Kariuki Josphat. I'm married to Pieros Cherotich, and between us we are blessed with 4 children. Of course, if you are single, you may not want to talk about married or not married. Otherwise, you seem to be advertising something. Then what did you do before? I was a full-time lecturer in the university, too busy. So what didn't you like about it? I was too busy. I didn't have time for myself. I was working so hard, but the harder I worked, the more broke I became. So whatever you didn't like about what you did, very important. Now that way you are trying to hit their heads to feel some pain so that they can soften for your opportunity later. Then why did you join? Of course, you relate that to what you didn't like, because that's what you wanted to change. Which objections did you have to overcome? Because most likely, what you had to overcome is the same thing they need to overcome for them to really join your business. I didn't have money to join. When you say that, and they don't have money to join, they get closer to you to listen. What did you do? So which objections and how did you overcome those objections? I had to borrow the registration. I decided, let me borrow for the last time. And then you've got to the benefits that you've gotten from the business, whether health, wealth, lifestyle, or all of them. Share. You might think it's a simple testimony, but whatever the benefit you've gotten will go a long way to win them. Then your future. Now this is very powerful, especially for those who are just new. Your future. People want to face that bright future with you. I see myself driving my dream machine. Oh, let me tell you, that time you have nothing. Last month you got a bonus of $6. But that's nonsense. It doesn't really matter for you. What matters is the future. Okay. And finally, call for action, where you assure them, you challenge them. If I've done it from that busy corner, you too can do it. 2 to 3 minutes, you are done. Your story, very, very important. For the presentation itself, just make it simple. Keep it simple. Don't complicate it. The problem with some of us is that because we've known too much about the business, we end up complicating things. You want to really give an analysis of how TNN is made. When we talk of lipins, you want to really help them understand what lipins are and all that. That is something that we just stress them for no reason. Most of the people I sponsor, I don't even use a pen and paper. I sponsor them with my hands like this. We are just telling stories and chatting. I mean, if I told you that in our business, for you to be successful, you just need to use our products instead of buying the conventional stuff out there, which are chemicals, and you're getting points every time you buy something. And you are free to share the products with others and make profits. But more importantly, you build a network of other users so that whatever they are doing counts for you. And the bigger the network, the bigger the bonus. And of course, we'll be there to train you. I'm done with the presentation. Now, what will matter more is my story. How have I done that and how has it benefited me? So for an effective presentation, keep it simple. Have some energy. Don't present when you look like you're dying tomorrow. Be convinced before you convince others. And close strong. Close strong. If you just finish telling them about the presentation and you don't ask them to join, they might not join. I mean, even preachers do it very well. After preaching, they will always do an altar call because they didn't just preach to pass time. They want people to get born again. So it's the same thing. We are not in the business to sensitize people about the poverty levels in Africa. No, we want them to join. Always have that at the back of your mind. You want them to join. And as I close, allow me to say this, that all this is a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers. If you only talk to 2 people in a day, chances are it will take you a long time to sponsor somebody. But if you increase that to say 10, then chances are you are going to, out of the 10, you're going to sponsor 1, 2, or 3. Jim Rohn says if you sponsor 3, then you are a genius. Again, you should not have false expectation. Few people will join. And out of the people, few will join, few people will do the business. So if you want to increase the numbers, then mathematically speaking, take the prospecting quite high. I mean, have a book. I usually have, in my bag, I have a hard-covered prospecting book so that when I meet new people physically, I write them down there. On social media, I'm going big and I am busy writing all the prospects I'm getting on that book. Don't trust your mind, memory. Write them and then have a target every day. How many do you want to talk to? Don't go to bed before you talk to that number. It is like sowing seeds. Sow as many seeds as possible. It is not your work to make sure they germinate. It's not purely your work. There are other factors like God making it to rain. And we say you may not make it rain, but you can be ready. You can prepare your land so that when it rains, then you'll have some harvest. So go to the shamba, sow as many seeds as possible, and many will germinate, and some will grow to fruition. And there you are, happy during the harvest. I've simply shared with you what I have been doing, what I am doing, and what I'll continue doing so that I'll never have an issue sponsoring. I've used those strategies, and in some months, there's a month I found myself sponsoring 24. Okay, let me say 24 only, because I know I can double that. I can sponsor 48. I mean, it's only that I'm also balancing between sponsoring and growing. If all the people sponsored were sponsored as adults, so that I sponsor you and you are good to go, then I can sponsor 80. But don't be cheated by anyone. I've had people saying, sponsor only 1 or 2 so that you can manage you can manage them. By the way, we are not here to manage people. We work with the system, and Friend is very good in teaching system. We work with system. You bring them on board, introduce them into the system, and they grow through that system. Okay, guys, I think my time is up, but we can continue tomorrow, given another chance. Thank you so much, friends. Looking forward to celebrating this team as top sponsors. Thank you. God bless you.
Wow. That is amazing. What I can say is I can see the passion, the excitement in sponsoring. And I can see you actually enjoy. Sorry, my throat is a bit hoarse. I can see you actually enjoy the process of sponsoring. And I think that's where we need to get to. When you can enjoy sponsoring the way Kariuki enjoys sponsoring, my friend, you'll sponsor like there's no tomorrow. So guys, thank you, Kariuki. Thank you for that. Thank you for speaking from the heart. Thank you for sharing what you do. And I know on this call, let me ask you, Kariuki, when you haven't sponsored in a month, how many people have you sponsored? The month that you have not really sponsored.
The month that I have not sponsored. You're
Yes,
breaking. Let me get it right.
The minimum number that you do in a month. If you don't, the amount that say.
Well, yeah, if I'm not in the country, we've gone for a lifestyle and we have overextended. I don't have time to sponsor. I can sponsor around 5, 6.
5, 6. So in other words, yes, on a normal month when you're in the country, you are doing more than 6.
It should be around 10.
Around 10. Wow, that's exciting. That's exciting. So guys, there you have it. You know what excites me?
Let me mention this, Fred. Let me mention this.
Yes.
There, in my very first years, if I sponsored one person, I would have been like a chicken that has laid an egg. You know, the way everyone will know that the chicken has laid an egg. But then I developed the skills. So there is hope, man. There is hope.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No, guys, you know what excites me about what Kariuki is sharing is that it is possible. It is possible for you to do 5, to do 6, to do 10, to do 20 in a month. So the sky is not the limit. It's a stepping stone. And if he has done it, but then you'd think that it is easier for him. Let me tell you, being a professional, it's more difficult because the people he talks to are professionals like him. And many are very skeptical. You can confirm that. Not many PhDs will even listen to you. But he sponsors them. He has magistrates, he has lawyers, he has all cadre of professionals in his business. So it is possible. And if he has done it, you can also do it. So thank you so much, Kariuki. Thank you so much, Team Online. I forgot to mention Patricia Mwangi and Team Abundance. It's good to have you on the call. Thank you so much, Rose and Clement and everybody on this call. Let's go out this month and sponsor massively. The way we can pay back Kariuki for this wonderful session is by doing your 3 in 30 at the very minimum this month before the month is over. Thank you so much. God bless you and have a good night. Thank you all.
Thank you. Good night, friend.